Meghan Markle has just been dumped again, fresh off the Jordanian humiliation, where her own husband rejected her multiple times. She is now faced with a growing business catastrophe. This in regards to her failing Netflix deal. I mean, remember, this is a woman who has promised Harry, I'm going to be the billionaire. I'm going to make us all this money. I mean, no wonder he's furious with her because now she's demanding to Netflix that she becomes the director of her new dramatic projects. And they're saying, hang on a moment, no. Everything you touch turns to crap. So this was first revealed overnight by Page 6 in the New York Post, which says fresh blow for Harry and Meghan as it's revealed their movie projects are in limbo. And the Royal News Network's take on this was not surprised. Harry and Meghan remain wildly unfocused and lack any semblance of creative talent or instincts. This Hollywood venture was always doomed to fail, just like every other Sussex project. And there's a whole load of new reporting on this. We will get into the details of it and then super analysis from the brilliant royal YouTube sensation P. Diner. But first, let me take you through this reporting from Sarah Nathan, who is the editor-at-large for the New York Post. She writes, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's remaining Netflix projects appear to be stuck in limbo, leaving their first look deal with the streamer up in the air. That is according to sources. Back in August 2023, the Sussexes announced their media company Archewell Productions would produce a movie based on Carly Fortune's hit book Meet Me at the Lake. Netflix paid around $3 million for the rights to the novel. But nearly 3 years later, we're told the project is still classed as in development, but it hasn't got very far, lacking both a director and a cast, leaving Hollywood insiders baffled. 3 years in development for a movie like this at Netflix isn't good, a well-placed Hollywood source told us. The Sussexes offered Netflix their new documentary, Cookie Queens, which recently debuted at the Sundance Film Festival. However, as I first reported, the film about Girl Scout cookies has not yet been bought by a distributor or streamer. In other words, Netflix rejected this. The source added, I don't know how long this new deal is for, but if they don't have anything to show soon, I can't imagine it will be renewed. That's just the first look deal, not even an exclusive deal. Sources close to Archewell, so this is the Harry and Meghan pushback, told us several scripted and unscripted titles are in various phases of development with the streamer and are moving through the normal creative process. And here's the killer line. We're also told Netflix CEO Ted Sarandos gets on very well with the couple. So, effectively, that is why Meghan went with Ted Sarandos and his mixed-race wife to the Beyoncé concert. There is a personal connection here. He just doesn't want to humiliate her. But Paula Frolic revealed the real reason for this fallout with Netflix, and it is because Meghan wants to direct. Sources tell me Meghan wants to direct, starting with these projects. But Netflix doesn't want that. She was a micromanager on everything to do with Love Meghan, and they don't want her anywhere near the projects except in name only. The only reason the company is keeping her around is if they decide to do a Princess Diana doc and to see if miracles do exist and she can somehow make money from her food product line as ever. But that's okay, because Meghan was going to focus her attention on short-form videos and her sad grab bag of goods featured on as ever. So P. Diner, this is absolutely hilarious, isn't it? The front of this woman, it's like everything you have executive produced has been a complete disaster, apart from the one series where you slagged off the royal family infinitum, and you're now demanding to direct? Like, how crazy, how insane is she?
Meghan Markle is facing another major setback, and this time it's not just personal, it's professional. Because behind the scenes, things are starting to fall apart. And when you look at the full picture, it's worse than anyone expected. Do you think this is just media exaggeration or something real is happening?
Never learn. And I believe part of the overarching issue that Megan has is her reputation in Hollywood. Usually these things are shopped around, and you would normally be able to get someone attached to a project so that it could start getting some momentum and to get other people attached and to get the production rolling. But The problem that Meghan has is that her reputation is so soured in Hollywood that nobody wants to be aligned with her. And this is why they can't get anything going because nobody wants to attach themselves to something that they know will be a failing project. Everything that Meghan touches fails, and she has no value, no worth, she has no talent. And the fact that she wants to be the director is another red lightning point for people to just stay away. There's just no way people are going to attach their talent to someone that wants to have their ego involved into a project. You see, so Megan's mere presence and wanting to be attached to it is what is keeping people away from this project. And this is why it will never get off the ground because of Megan's ego.
I know, because she is not capable of directing. Everyone would revolt very quickly because of the way that she treats people. I mean, she would seriously not be able to do this. She doesn't have the talent to do this, but she also doesn't have the people skills to do this.
Yeah, she bullies people. She feels entitled. She doesn't know what she wants. She doesn't have the skill set. She has this aura of entitlement that people just don't like because people, you have to understand, people in Hollywood, they have paid their dues. Nobody generally gets to the head of the line unless they're a Nepo child, right? But the majority of people that are running these shows have paid their dues. And they just don't want to see someone like Meghan coming with her attachment to being married to some man as a reason to give her the opportunity to direct something. I mean, it's just so many things on top of this issue around Meghan that she'll never get a break in Hollywood ever. And it's sad for Netflix, I think, because they just need to, get a grip and understand nothing good will ever come. And you can wait for this Diana maybe documentary, but William is already lawyered up. He's going to prevent that from ever even happening. So I don't know what they're trying to do and wait for something to happen with that Diana documentary because it's not going to happen. And not as long as William is, going to have pushback against it. They need to detach from Meghan as soon as possible.
And the thing is, P. Dinah, it's not as if was never, as Lady Colin Campbell calls it, is a success either. Indeed, the Sussex squad attempts to try and suggest that this business is working is so desperate. So they have leaked to Newsweek and a guy called Jack Royston, who is broadly on side with the Sussexes, although I think in recent years he's had to wake up. And this was the best headline they could come up with to try and call this a success story. Meghan Markle's shoppers slowly growing as pressure looms. And let me take you through the stats, P. Dinah, because I actually think it's disastrous. He writes, Meghan Markle's as ever online shop has been slowly building traffic month by month, but digital footfall remains substantially below where it was when she first launched, which wasn't that long ago. No sales data has been made public, but website traffic has been growing month on month, which come as good news to the Duchess after a website glitch in January revealed that she had $21.8 million worth of stock. There have long been debates about how well the business is doing, with Newsweek sources indicating her team has been happy with the progress she has made. But that is the Sussex sources. They are the Newsweek sources. Meanwhile, critics argue she has more stock than she can ever sell. After AsEver.com accidentally revealed Meghan's full stock totals in January, when she had 650,190 products worth $21.8 million at sale price. This included more than 80,000 tubs of edible flower sprinkles worth a total of £1.2 million. It's just hilarious. Meghan's website recorded, oh God, this is not good. This is not a success for one of the most well-known people in the world. 196,831 visits in October. I mean, terrible. It has since risen to 268,200 visits in January, a growth of 36%. In the months between, the growth was steady. Interestingly, though, only a third of visitors to As Ever were from the United States, and Meghan does not currently ship internationally, meaning many of her potential customers have left empty-handed. I mean, P. Dinah, to try and sell that as a success? Are you kidding me? This is a disaster.
They're just trying to project in their mind success, hoping that it will translate into reality. This is a disaster. Look, Megan can't get this stock moving because she doesn't have any successes. She doesn't have any worth that would warrant people to want to buy these products. What in the world why does she think people are just going to go buy these products? Like, what is wrong with her? Does she not understand that her reputation precedes anything that she tries to do? That she doesn't show up in a likable way for people to even want to pull out their money, their credit card to buy anything. This woman's value is dead. It is done. But what can she do? I mean, it has an expiration date. She has to keep trying. And I think that's part of the reason why Harry just always looks so grumpy because I believe, they are the ones that bought this product and they can't get rid of it. So what now? They're in the negative. It would make anyone depressed and sad to see all this product that is not moving and it will never move. So they need to get a grip on reality that it is done for them. And I think that's part of it. I mean, I can imagine the depression that is setting in, seeing all of this product just sitting there with an expiration date. It will never move, Dan. It's done. It's disastrous.
It really is disastrous. It really is. Speaking of disastrous, P. Dinah, some breaking news out of the United Kingdom this afternoon. Princess Beatrice, the embattled daughter of Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, has now been pictured with the alleged Chinese spy. This was on a trip to Nepal. Now, this has been a big political story here in the UK, P. Dinah, because this man who was arrested is David Taylor. He's the husband of the Labour MP Joanne Reid. And at this point, it was bad news for the government. But in the past few hours, the newspaper has just procured this picture of Princess Beatrice with the arrested man. Now, of course, he claims, presumably, that he's done nothing wrong. Certainly his wife, who is the Labour MP, says that she has done nothing wrong. But this just isn't a good look for Beatrice, especially at the moment.
So we know that the royals, they know a lot of this is already going to be really bad. They know things that we don't know. And I think that's why we're starting to hear a lot about not even being near Beatrice and Eugenie, because it is a bad look. And I can imagine this photo is just the beginning of the information that they actually know about her dealings, her transactions with these different business entities. And I think this is part of the reason why they were trying to look into the financials of Eugenie and Beatrice, because there are some things that they have done that is going to look really bad. And there needs to be transparency around any association with these questionable people, because it is going to look bad for the royals if they don't get ahead of these stories. So yeah, this is just the beginning, this photo right here, Dan.
Yeah,
It's
I mean,
not
I'm just looking at the report from the newspaper, P. Dinah, which, as I say, this is literally just breaking right now. And the reports that there is no evidence that Beatrice is involved in any of Taylor's alleged spying activity. But they say it does show how well connected the arrested man was with Britain's elites, including the royals. And it looks like this dates back to 2016, so 10 years ago, when Mr. Taylor went on a 9-day charity trip to Nepal with a small group, including Princess Beatrice. So we will obviously wait for that story to play out. Meanwhile, P. Dinah, in Cornwall yesterday, I thought this was completely unfair. The radical left are targeting Prince William again. Look at this.
How long have you known about Andrew? How long have you known about Andrew? Well, what? I'm just asking a question.
It's a pleasant visit. Why you would want to ask him that question at this particular time? Why you were
It's the only chance I get to speak to him. I've never had a chance to speak to him before, and I wanted to know the answer.
What were you looking to get from that question then?
Oh, he hopes for an answer to things like that.
No, not at all. You don't want to give me your details?
No.
You don't.
Now, to be fair, big productions can take time, but 3 years, no director, no cast, that's not development anymore. That's stagnation. With Netflix now reportedly unsure about the future, the question is, what's really going on? Is this normal in Hollywood or a red flag?
William tried to hear what he said and then to understand, oh, it's Andrew, and to, try to divert. It's really sad that, William has to put up with this. I think that trying to come up with some strategy to deal with people like that would be a good thing to do. But, it does spoil it for the others that are there, and, good for the others that said, why spoil this for us? Well, I mean, what does he expect William to say? They've already done what they can do. There's no more that they can do at this point other than maybe making a statement and saying, what they did know or when they knew it. But it just feels like they're not going to be able to get around people, yelling out these comments, despite what they may do in the future. It just is something that's going to linger, and they're going to have to wait until it dies down. But I find it really difficult to watch. It just made me feel uneasy that he had to deal with that, because William is a good person. He's doing his best, and he is meeting with the people, right? I mean, you can't fault the man for something that his uncle did, and he's out there meeting with the people. It just seems so harsh to be like that towards him, and he's trying to do the best he can. And he had nothing to do with it. It's not like it's the king. Now, I can understand someone saying something to the king. I'm sorry. Okay. But William, he has tried. Just look at how William looked at his uncle at the funeral. It just shows you that he is not in the same ballpark as anything around Andrew. So why do this to William? It just seems so unnecessary to me.
No, it is. And the thing is, P. Diner, at the end of the day, what I found sad about it is that William actually did want to engage with that man when he yelled out. He didn't ignore him. And I think for a split second, William actually thought, oh, see here, he looked up and he smiled and he said, sorry. And then his cheeks became quite flushed. And there was probably a part of him that was upset that the visit had been hijacked. Also, a little part of him that thought, well, should I say something here? But then, of course, you're almost giving in to the radical left. Personally, I wish he would. I like the idea of more transparency and fronting up to this, but I understand why he didn't as well. What was sad about it, though, P. Diner, is it did overshadow an incredible moment when Prince William visited the Gare Farm pasty company in Helston, and he was helping to make the pasties, and he also took a phone order, but it led to this truly hilarious moment, proving he is such a man of the people. Watch.
And what name is that?
I'm just waiting for him to
Juicy. Josie. Sorry, Josie. I thought you said Juicy. My apologies. We've got it. The pasties will be juicy, all right. We've got 15 pasties named down for 145. 5 freshly cooked ones and 10 frozen. Bye-bye, Josie. Bye-bye.
Wasn't that so charming, P. Diner? He thought the woman's name was Juicy.
Yeah, I think that's a nice little nickname. Yeah, no, I think that was really funny, and he just rolls with it like that. And he's hilarious. I like William these lighthearted moments. He just has this likability about him that it just warms your heart to see him interact like this in a funny way and to not be so uptight about it. But yeah, we have.
Yeah, and we need to see more of it because he was also great with a bunch of students on this visit. Watch this.
Good luck with down, guys.
just sit down, fall over.
Wait to get the rain, guys.
And it was the second day, P. Diner, that he'd met a bunch of students because he'd had a lovely interaction with Princess Anne earlier in the week. And again, I think this is why it is so sad that much of what he does is overshadowed. Catherine put in a beautiful visit to Leicester as well, where you could just see how, I mean, look at this. Our people's princess, adored by her fans. At one point, she just walked down the street in Leicester as if it was the most normal thing in the world, but people were absolutely delighted to see her there. She tasted quite a lot of the local Indian food and said that she loved how spicy it was, and she could definitely cope with that. And it was quite funny because both of the visits did have a little bit of a food focus, because when William was making his pasties in Cornwall, he said, "This is when I need my wife." So maybe they do fulfill the traditional roles when it comes to food, at least P. Diner.
Yes, it's so nice to see how all the people just, swarm around Catherine and love on her. It is just I can't wait for them to ascend to the throne, because it is going to be such a joyous occasion, because you can see how they're just so loved by the people, and they are like for the people, and they feel like normal, regular, average, everyday people who have this extraordinary opportunity to be so public and to bring attention to the lives of people who are doing good things all across the country. I think just shows to, the great things that the UK has to offer in the Commonwealth. And I am just so happy that there is a true greatness waiting to ascend to the throne, because with all the negativity that is currently in the monarchy right now, we know that we have a very positive outlook on what is to come, and it is going to be so different, nothing like what has been in the past. These are people who are going to be there for the people and to shine a light on greatness of regular average day people. And that's what I love to see. And I just hope that I get to meet them one day. It's like I look forward to that. And I never felt that way before. But I think just seeing these stories over and over again, and how they just roll with it, they have these light-hearted moments. You warm to them and you feel like you know them. And then you want to meet them and have them a part of your life. So it's a great thing. And I just don't want the left and people to ruin it for the rest of us that,
Totally. But the
hope
problem
to
is, P.
see
Diner,
them.
we see this happening every single day. Shame on the
Yeah.
BBC. That's the British national broadcaster. P. Diner, I actually call it the British bashing corporation, because I know a lot of people overseas, a lot of people in America might think the BBC is pro-Britain. Trust me, they're not. They are run by radical leftists. They hate the royal family. And even though people like me have to pay for it via our taxes, listen to what they have just done, P. Diner. I could not believe it. This has just emerged today. The BBC axing live coverage of the Commonwealth Day service will show Escape to the Country instead. Now, this is something that I've broadcast since 1989, the most important day for the Commonwealth and the royal family of the year. Ingrid Seward, the editor of Majesty magazine, said this is a ridiculous and appalling decision. The BBC has been doing it for years, and it's the most important date in the diary for celebrating the Commonwealth. If even the BBC doesn't think it's worthy to cover and celebrate despite its huge cultural significance for member states and the monarchy, then the Commonwealth could fade into an irrelevance with every passing year. Commonwealth Day has been marked annually since 1972. It has been broadcast live on TV every year since 1989. This year, it's not as if there's not a star-studded lineup. The Prince and the Princess of Wales will join King Charles and Queen Camilla. Former Spice Girl Jerry Halliwell Horner and ex-Strictly Pro Oti Mabuse are expected to give readings to the 1,800 guests. But on BBC One, where the ceremony is normally broadcast, viewers will see a Canadian couple being shown dream homes by presenter Sonali Shah in the central lowlands of Scotland. The BBC said our decision not to broadcast the Commonwealth Day ceremony in the same way we've done in previous years, reflect the difficult choices we've had to make in light of our funding challenges, the BBC News plans to cover the service across its platforms, including the BBC One bulletins and rolling news channels. I'm sorry, P. Dina, that ain't good enough. This is the national broadcaster. They spend so much money producing woke crap every single day, and they can't broadcast the Commonwealth Day service. Do not tell me they don't have an agenda.
Absolutely. And I think it might even have something to do with William and what he did with the BBC because of what happened with his mother. I
Yes, he
believe there
hates
was
them.
something that happened. Yeah, so that's the reason why they're doing it and they're blaming it on funding. Look, I think there can be others that will broadcast it. I don't know how the licensing works over there in the UK, but then, have someone else do it. What about ITV? I mean, isn't there an opportunity for another broadcaster to show it? I mean, I don't understand why this would happen. To me, it looks like they're trying to sabotage any goodwill that will even come out from that day with William and Catherine, because we know it's just going to, show a highlights of all the wonderful things that happened with the Commonwealth. But it is definitely trying to hijack these good moments that are going to be seen around the world. So, what's the bigger picture here? Why can't then someone else do it? I don't understand. Just have them not do it then and move on, because that's clearly an agenda. You can't say it isn't.
Reports suggest Meghan Markle now wants to step in and direct, but insiders say Netflix isn't on board. And this is where things shift, because when control increases but results don't, that's when studios start pulling back. Should she be given control, or is this too risky? And here's the bigger issue. This isn't the first time. Big announcements, huge expectations, and then silence. At what point does this stop being coincidence and start becoming a pattern? Be honest, pattern or just bad luck? There's also growing talk that people in Hollywood simply don't want to attach themselves, not because they can't, but because they're not convinced. And in this industry, reputation is everything. Is Hollywood quietly backing away? Then you look at the business side. Millions in stock, limited reach, slow growth. That's not momentum, that's pressure building. Would you actually buy from her brand? Meanwhile, Prince William and Catherine, Princess of Wales, are gaining even more public support, and the contrast right now is becoming impossible to ignore. Who represents the future of the royal family better? And even the media landscape is shifting, with institutions like the BBC facing criticism over coverage decisions. It raises a bigger question. Who controls the narrative? Do you trust mainstream media anymore? And maybe this is what it all comes down to. Not headlines, not promises, but results. Because in the end, you can promise everything. But if nothing delivers, people start to notice. So tell me honestly, is this just bad timing or the beginning of the end?